All right. Hey, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well on this Monday. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. This video, what I'm getting ready to share with you is something that, some principles and some things that I'm learning, just that I'm still even kind of scratching the surface from a book that I am reading. I'm going to ask right now, go ahead and share this with people in your community and let people know that, hey, there's a conversation going on over here and I think you should listen to it. Now, if any of you know me, I have been avidly reading lots of books lately over the last 4 to 5 months. I probably bought more books in the last 4 or 5 months. I'm not even kidding when I say this, than I've probably bought in the last 10 years. And I'm not even joking. Like, it's been that serious. And so on this Massive Action Monday, what I like to do is talk about a book that I picked up this year that has not only changed the way I look at business, changed the way I look at my life, but more importantly, it's given me things that I would have never even thought to consider until I picked up the book and decided to stretch myself and stretch my mind around the things that I was learning in this book. So the name of the book is called Boss Moves. This book is written by my business coach, Myron Golden. As you'll see there, quote from Russell Brunson himself. Incredible. A book perfect for entrepreneurs, and it's business optimization success secrets from $1 Million Roundtable. Now, if you want to get your hands on this book while I'm talking about it, it's in the description below. You can go ahead and order your copy right now. But I'm not going to read this book to you. This isn't like reading time. But I do want to point out a particular concept that is shared in this book. And I'm going to tell you right now, it changed the way I saw my personal maturation journey as a business owner. It's changed the way I look at my relationship with my wife. It's changed the way I see everything that I put my hands to because it gave me another perspective. It's like having a prism, right? And if you put the prism in the sun and turn it, you'll see different colors. Well, this book has given me a ton of different colors to think through. And I'm so grateful to Dr. Myron Golden. He is my business coach. Yes, my wife and I invest in business coaching. And I'm like truly grateful that I, invested into his program. The circle of people are phenomenal. Just the wealth of knowledge of the people around him. And here's the biggest thing that I will tell you when you start talking about, like, why would you, invest so heavily and so much money into, coaching? My wife and I have invested probably at least well over $200,000 in the last year alone just in coaching. Now, to some people, that sounds like, whoa, that's crazy. But what I will tell you is what most people fail to realize about coaching is that there's parts of your life, there's parts of my life that right now, if we did our jobs correctly, and if we made sure that we were getting the most out of our lives, you know what would happen? What would actually happen is we would actually speed up the things that we are trying to get done in our lives. We would actually speed up like life. We would speed up our income. We'd speed up our ability to learn. We'd speed up so many things, but sometimes it's about getting in the right room. So I got in the right room. I'm in the right room. I appreciate that room. And let's talk about this. The back of this book says wealth has a need for speed, but you've got to slow down before you speed up. There's so much right there that we could like break down. I'm not going to be before you long, but I do want to share a concept in the book that he shares. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important for you and I on this Massive Action Monday. The section is called The Levels of Learning. And I'm just going to read this like first part of this part of what it talks about the levels of learning, because I want us to get an understanding of like y'all, it's 125 days left in this year. And you could either, kind of mail it in until 2023 and say, oh, I'll do that thing later. But what I'm about to read to you in this book, and again, you can get your copy right now. It's in the description. I highly suggest this book to anyone that is trying to build a business, a marriage, whatever you're trying to build. I'm going to tell you right now, there are principles in here that are universal. And the one we're getting ready to talk about is important. So this one is called The Levels of Learning. I absolutely love this particular section. So I'm gonna just read like this first part, and then I'm gonna break something down here on the screen for you. It says, let's say you want to learn a business. First, I want you to think of that business as a building. Okay. So what we have here, it says, think of this business as a building, right? And when we think of this business as a building, right, we've got, some windows, right? And when you think of business as a building, the concept in the book is basically saying for every floor, let me do this the other way. It's basically saying for every floor, there is some way to get there. But you've got to learn the ways to get there. And if you have questions while I go through this, please go ahead and drop them. I'm going to answer those. So let's say there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Talks about the levels of the building. So this basically says that I want you to think of this building as having all these different floors, and that you've gotten to elevate to. And when you get to the next floor, you've elevated. So you come into the building and it's like a maze. And the thing that you got to do is find the elevator. And in order to find the elevator, you've got to be observant. You've got to pay attention, and you've got to find all these clues. So you go into the building, right? You start to uncover clues, and all of a sudden you find an elevator. But let's just imagine for a moment you've never seen an elevator. Think about that for a second. You walk into a building, but you have no concept of what an elevator is. All you saw from the outside is that it's really tall. So this elevator to you just looks like a small room. But based on all of the clues that you've gathered, I was outside the building. I see it's pretty tall. It's 4 stories. Well, somehow I got to be able to get, through those levels, right? So based on all the clues you've gathered, this is where you're supposed to go. Now you're looking around in the elevator thinking, the thing that I'm looking for is not in this little room. Because remember, you don't have a concept of an elevator. And you're looking around in this little tiny room going, well, I don't see how I'm going to get up there, but that's where I want to be. I want to be on the higher levels. And you go in the elevator and the door gets ready to close and you jump off. You jump off the elevator because you have no mental model for elevating to the next level. Remember, you don't know the concept of an elevator. You want to go to the next level, but you don't have a mental model for the elevator, so you get back off the elevator. This, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what happens to people over and over and over again in their lives when it comes to business. Listen to this key line that I'm about to read, and the reason why I highly recommend this book and why it's in the description for you to buy it right now. Listen to this line that I'm about to read, and I'm going to break something down here on the screen. They want to get to competency in business where they can be a successful business owner. That's what the top floor of it, that's what's on the top floor of this building. But they come in on the first floor and they start to look around and they have no skills. They can't make money because they don't understand what it takes to make money in business. They don't understand marketing, and they don't understand sales, and they don't understand lead generation. So they start uncovering clues. Once they get on the elevator, finally they say, okay, well, it's obvious here. Maybe once the door closes, that's when it will reveal itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop right there because there's so many things that we're going to unpack. But I'm going to finish this out. It says, so the door closes, all of a sudden you see a panel where you can push the button and it says level 2. You push the button for level 2. It goes up and the door is open and you see your completely different place. Now you've mastered level 1. By going up the elevator to the next floor, you've mastered the clues on the first floor. Let's just call the first floor sales. Okay? The first floor is sales. The second floor is marketing. The next floor might be team building. Right? And this last floor, let's just call this mastery. And again, when you get this book, you're going to learn why. I'm going to stop right there because there are so many things in this book that I highly suggest that you get. Again, listen, if you're struggling and you're frustrated because your business isn't growing or you feel like there are things that you should have, I'm telling you right now, let me read that line again because this is where I found myself in building a business, and this is where I find a lot of people. They want to get the competency in their business where they can be a successful business owner. That's what's on the top of this building. But they come in on the first floor and they start looking around and they have absolutely no skills. Ladies and gentlemen, on this floor here is where many businesses die. It's not that the business isn't a good idea. It's not that it can't take shape. It's not even the fact that it's impossible for you to grow and build the business. But most of us don't want to accept the fact that we probably don't have the skills yet in order to build a successful business. And what we're relying on too many times is we're relying on whatever outdated information that we already have, thinking, well, I know enough and that should get me what I need. I'm going to show you something, and I've been learning this, building the podcast, every course, writing a book. I'm learning this more and more and more, and I'm so grateful for this book. Here's something that I realized that many of us are struggling with when it comes to building our business, when we come to the awareness that we're lacking skill. There's two things that happen when we realize we have no skill. The first thing that happens, let me change this up. When you realize you have no skill in something, the first thing that happens is our ego gets in the way. Ego starts to say all kind of crazy, wild things that you don't need to learn that. Here's the other thing that happened, especially we dismiss everything that we're being taught about what's necessary in order to build our business. We start to dismiss it because in our mind, and this is one of the dangerous things about our ego, in our mind, what's really happening is our mind is basically saying it can't be anything else that I need to know. Either I'm incompetent or there's something that our brains want to tell us that is not true about building this business. So what happens is when we have no skill, our ego gets in the way. We dismiss new information. And we lack education in a particular area. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest things that I've learned in building a business is that I can't let myself go down this path when I have no skill in something. What do I mean by that? Remember, our first floor is sales, right? If this building is the levels of learning, right? This is what the book talks about. Well, the problem is when I walk into the building, I don't know how to do this effectively. I have no skill. But if I allow my ego to get in the way and I start dismissing new information and I lack the education, but I won't go out there and get it, well, guess what? You'll never learn this. And some of us think that, well, I don't need to learn sales. I'm not a salesman. Oh, I'm not that kind of person. I don't like selling. Can we just talk for a second? You've been selling all of your life. When you were a baby and you couldn't talk, you sold your parents on needing to be held. You sold the fact that your diaper needed to be changed. You sold the fact that you needed to go to sleep. You sold the fact that you needed to eat. When you were a kid and you were about 5 or 6, you negotiated your way to that extra cookie, to staying up. You did all the things. You've been selling all of your life. You and I have been selling all of our lives. The difference is that we don't understand that that is a normal part of business every single day. And what we think of is we only think of the bad moments of sales. You forgot about how that person sold you that, expensive purse, that expensive car that you drive, the beautiful home that you live in, right? Forgot about those because those were the good ones. We tend to try to make sales this negative thing. And it's not really that. And again, when you read this book, you will understand some of the most important secrets about building you a business. So let's keep talking about this because I want to show you this. So this is the levels of learning. This is what it's talking about. This is a concept in the book. And that's why it's so powerful that you and I need to read this book. So if you come in on the sales floor and you have no skills, a lot of people would just get stuck right there. But the moment you figure out how to sell, and here's what I mean by how to sell. The moment you sell somebody one thing that you have, it changes the game. You know why? Because you could be terrible. And just by sheer will and willingness to go out and share the information and go make a sale, you've already won. That does something to you when somebody's willing to buy something that you put in front of people. Because guess what the next thing you start thinking about? Oh my God, I can go do this. I can do this again. I keep making it happen, right? So it's a good thing. But I don't want us to get stuck here, because then the next thing that happens is when you go from sales, you realize, okay, now I got a product. I know how to market. I don't know how to market though. Again, what do you not have? You have no skill in marketing. But once you've achieved this floor and you're past that floor, now you're on floor 2, right? Now you have no skill. Again, here's what happens. Get caught in the trap. Ego gets in the way. We dismiss new information and we lack the education. So then we say, well, the business doesn't work. Or we say, I tried that, and add whatever your excuse is on the end, right? So what we got to understand is that at every level, you're going to be faced with getting to this point. Now, one of the greatest things that I like in this book that I think is really important also to go with this is there are some things that it talks about that you've got to eliminate. And what I love about that is, I'm going to find this section here. This is good. So it says you got to eliminate to elevate. Here's the problem. We're not willing to eliminate our lack of skill so that we can move forward into marketing. But one of the things that it says here in the book, if you want to, you got to learn to eliminate to elevate. I once read that sacrifice is not giving up something that you desire. Sacrifice is letting go of something of a lower nature so that you can take hold of something of a higher nature. I want you to think of accomplishing your business goal and your family goal or your spiritual goal of whatever it is. And it says, if you want to get to the next level in business, you've got to eliminate conflict. This is so good. Man, this is so good. What is conflict? Not conflict between you and your spouse, conflict between you and your kids. For those of you building your side businesses or part of my side business builders community, not those of you, but your conflict between your day job and your side business. You know where the conflict is typically for most of us? Our conflict is internal. You know why it's internal? Because there's things that we still want to do and things that we still want to keep as a routine that can't help us get what we ultimately want. Oh, what do I mean by that? Let me explain. Glad you asked. Let me explain. Internal conflicts. Weekends. Netflix and chill. Fixed mindset. There's so many things that I could write here, but the whole point is we have to accept that if you want your business to grow, if you have to accept that if over the next 125 days of the year that your life is going to get better going into 2023 because of the work that you did now, if you want to have all the things that are due you, by the way, that you are owed in life, meaning not owed like you're entitled, but saying for those who dare to venture beyond their comfort levels, there's tons of fortune waiting for you on the other side. If that's you, and that's me, that's why you're here, then you and I have to eliminate conflict internally on a daily basis. Do y'all know I didn't feel like doing this video today? I had a long day. I just did not feel like doing this video today. But I have resolved in myself that every Monday is Massive Action Monday. I don't care how I feel. I don't care what I wanted to do. Don't care how tired I am. Every day is Massive Action Monday. I am not allowing internal conflicts to rob me of doing what I need to do to build my business, to provide value, to share content, right? So my point is that all of us have to take the time out to ask ourselves, what internal conflicts am I struggling with? What is keeping me away from wanting to learn sales, marketing? What is stopping me from learning how to build teams? Is it because I've been a solo person all of my life in my day job? If it's up to me, it's all going to be on me. Well, that doesn't really work well if you're trying to scale a business and bring in revenue, right? Because if we can accomplish all of these, we can have mastery. And the book does a great job of breaking all of this down. But I want us to understand that part of us getting where we ultimately want to go Some of you want to get to $50,000 a month in your business. Some of you want to get to crack $1 million a year. Wherever you're trying to go, I guarantee you part of the challenge sitting right here. Internal conflicts. These internal thoughts and ideas and struggles that we have, even down to the personal stuff that we say to ourselves, that we think we're not good enough, or the imposter syndrome. All these things are internal conflicts. Y'all, this is one of the best books that I'm telling you right now, that if you want to have real understanding, practical nature of what you need to do right now, I highly recommend this book. It has been, and by the way, I had even changed the way I read, because I used to read for completion, meaning, just the satisfaction of getting from front end to back end of a book. And I realized, no, I got to pick up books, and my books are now my reference tools. That means I go back to them over and over and over and over again. So I just wanted to come on here today for Massive Action Monday. Here's some homework. Number one, I'm going to tell you, go get this book. That's the very first thing I'm going to tell you. It's in the description below. Go grab your copy and start reading today. The other piece of your homework for this week, not down the road, not next year. The other piece of homework for you and I this week, I want you to ask yourself, what part of your business do you have right now that you have no skill in? What part of your business have you had a resistance to learning? What part of your business have you not allowed other people to come in and help you? What part of your business are you stuck with your ego getting in the way? You're dismissing new information, and as a result, you lack education. What part of your business? I want you to write these down. I want you to be honest with yourself and let somebody hold you accountable for what's going on in your business. Let someone help you navigate these waters. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the thing that I'm learning more and more and more is that I am that close from everything changing in my business. And you know what that close is? What I'm willing to learn. If I'm willing to learn something, I inch a step closer. But everything I'm not willing to learn and I let ego get in my way, it ends up putting me back even further. Anything I'm not taking action on today, I step back a little further. But the moment I'm willing to read something and willing to unlearn some things, I take a step. And then when I'm able to apply the new thing, the new information I got, I take a step closer. And when I'm able to involve other people in these processes, take another step closer. But it all comes down to whether or not we're honest with ourselves about where we are right now. So I wanted to share that with you. This book is amazing. I'm telling you right now, you should definitely go grab your copy. Link is in the description below. Thank you for tuning in today to Massive Action Monday. Hey, if you haven't yet, make sure that you share, like, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to this on any audio platform experience, listen, do us a favor, leave a review. Tell us about the show. Tell us what you like about it. And make sure that you share it with somebody else. That makes the show get seen by other people who are just like you, who are all trying to grow. Thank you so much for watching. Continue to stay plugged in right here every Massive Action Monday, where I'm going to help you continue to improve your impact and income out in the marketplace. Take care. Have a great day. And we'll see you in the next video.